Welcome to English Total Grammar Lessons. Chapter 4. Was and were. Let's begin by having a look at the uses of was and were. First, you should know that these are the past forms of the verb to be, and you can use them to talk about who a person was or how they were in the past, among other things. Here are some examples.
My mom was a beautiful girl. She wasn't a great student.
We were in a meeting all day yesterday. We weren't very happy about it.
Okay, so let's talk about sentence structure. This is the structure for positive sentences. First, there's the subject, then was or were, and the rest of your sentence. And this is the structure for negative sentences. You have the subject and the negative form of was and were, and the rest of your sentence. Take a moment to study these tables. As you can see, it's very important to use the right form according to the subject. Take a look at these examples.
Last year, my brother was 22, so he is 23 now. When I was a child, I was scared of dogs. Jenny and Tom were late this morning. We were very excited about our holiday plans. The hotel wasn't very comfortable. They weren't happy with the news. The money wasn't transferred correctly.
Let's continue with question formation. This is the structure for questions. The question starts with was or were, followed by the subject, and then the rest of your question. For instance,
Where were you last night?
I was at John's. Where were you?
I was at Lucy's.
if you look at this table, you'll see it's very important to use the right form according to your subject. Here's some more examples.
Were you late this morning?
No, I wasn't.
Was Tom at work?
Yes, he was.
Were Sue and Steve there?
No, they weren't.
Let's move on. Now, as usual, let's look at short answers. This is the structure for short answers. Quite simple, as you can see. Here are a few examples, so you can get a better idea.
Were you late this morning?
No, I wasn't.
Was Tom at work?
Yes, he was.
Were Sue and Steve there?
No, they weren't.
In this lesson, you have learned that was and were are the past forms of the verb to be, and how it's important to use them each according to the subject of the sentence. So, use was and were to talk about things that were in the past. It might seem difficult at first, but it's actually quite simple. Just study the tables we showed you earlier, and you will be ready to start using was and were in conversation. We hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is the end of Chapter 4.